Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official Marvel Snap Zone podcast. And today, I'm going to take you through two really sweet decks. One from our friend Dougpai right on the screen. I know Binks was messing with something similar. Dougpai's got a really badass version of Double Dakin going over the top. We've also got like the best stats deck in the early game that wins a lot of games. It dominated Kawa's Cash tournament this weekend in the winners bracket, knocking out the great Lambie, coming down from like a huge deficit to just conquer the game. So these are two great decks we're going to talk about momentarily. Before we get there, though, I'd like to ask you to please hit that sub button, like, comment. We bring you two brand new decks every weekday to keep you ahead of the meta. We do our very best here to make sure that you always have new decks to play that are proven and can help you win, help you get Infinity, help you get your Infinity tickets, and succeed in Marvel Snap. It's our goal here. We aim to do our very best to achieve it, to help you. In return, and I don't know about in return, but like we also would really appreciate your help with a subscription, a like, a comment. It helps us grow. We also next week are going to be doing the biggest giveaway in Marvel Snap. I'll be away for the start of the week. Videos are still every day. Never a weekday without a video. But even though I'm away, these videos are happening, and as soon as I'm back, literally the day I'm back, we're going to kick off the biggest season pass giveaway in Marvel Snap. So if you want a free Loki, make sure you're subbed so you don't miss out. All right, the decks we're going to talk about. The first one is from Dougpai. This is our boy Dougpai, at DougpaiTTV, and Dougpai is on twitch.tv/Dougpai. So please make sure you check Dougpai out so we can support our friend for this awesome deck. And now let's look at said deck. This is the first deck we're going to talk about. So what this deck basically wants to do is use Dakin and Absorbing Man to get multiple shards all around the board, and then you double your Dakin on, sorry, you play Magic, then you go like Dakin Absorbing Man, and then you play Zola to basically fill your hand with shards. And then the last turn of the game, you spend, if you have to drop a bunch of shards and kill Monger, you can. It's still 20, that's still whatever, 32 power Dakins, right? Like, or 16 power Dakins. If you're killing no, you're killing 3. So I was right the first time, 32 power Dakins. If you're doing it that way, and if you get the 4 or 6 when you Modok, you just end up with these two absolutely huge, completely freaking bonkers, insane Dakins. They win the game, and they start off as 4s, so like you're probably not gonna have priority because you're playing a bunch of low power stuff early. So your opponent can't Shang you, and you have just wild power all over. So basically, the key pieces are Magic, Dakin, Zola Dakin, and then Modok away all the shards. And if somewhere in there you have time to absorb Mandokin also, it gets completely nuts. You end up with some of the biggest and coolest stats in the game. It works great. You've also just got extra stuff you can do here that helps you out. You've got Black Panther, so you can go Panther Absorbing Man, and then you can Zola either of those. You can go Wave in order to get some of these cards early and gain more power. You can pump your cards using Nova. Invisible Woman helps you hide what you're doing as necessary. This deck ends up really strong and really cool. It's a big combo deck. It's not, I wouldn't say it's one of the best decks in Snap, but if you want something fun that can like go over the top and hit you some high numbers and win you some games, it's not a bad deck by any means. This is the deck for you. Thanks so much to our boy Dougpai. Bronx, as always, represent. Our second deck for today is the Lambie Killer. That's messed up, but it's true. Also, with this deck, I tried something slightly new. So, because I had to manually input all the cards, I went through and included every variant I use for these cards. So this is like the actual, like that's the Wasp I have, that's the Forge I have, that's Luke I have, etc., etc. So this is the versions of the cards I use. Obviously, now the backgrounds, I keep all my cards on gold not on gold backgrounds, on gold borders. And if I can eventually get them all to gold on gold, we'll talk about that in like 10 years, right? But if you think it looks cooler this way, if you don't care, let me know either way so I know whether it's worthwhile It takes a little bit more time, but I think it looks cooler. So hey, also you'll note the one sad Shadow King because I don't have a Shadow King variant. I'd like a Shadow King variant, but haven't seen a good one. So oh well. All right, this deck is crazy. It puts out crazy power. This is one of the best decks in Snap. Surfer Patriot is finally meta with this deck. So what it basically wants to do, like its main goal, is to do something like Forge into Brood into Absorbent Man. If it can do that, it's got crazy power all over the board. Right. It's got Iron Lad to help cheat that, or it can do Forge into Sinister into Absorb Man. Any of these plays work great. If you're missing pieces, that's what Iron Lad is for. There is no good Iron Lad replacement for this deck. I know you're going to ask in the comments. I'm really sorry. It's the only high series card here. I guess Legion too, but Legion could be Sarah if you really wanted it to be, right? The problem is you do need places to play cards like badly because you're spreading out with your Brood, Sinisters, and Absorbments. So Legion is important because it basically says last turn of the game, I can make sure I play things. Let's go over some of the other cards. Wasp is a card that is a nice free play at the end of the game to fill a location and becomes a 0/3 with Patriot. Forge with Sinister, Forge with Brood are completely busted, just insanely good value. Luke Cage is phenomenal synergy with Shadow King, where like you may weaken some of your cards with Shadow King, except Luke is going to keep them nice and pumped up from that Forge and or from that Surfer, and it is so nice. It also works really well with negative locations. You can if you've got Luke Cage out, you can Legion into a bunch of negative locations, like the -2 or -3 locations, and not be affected and just steal games that way for extra cubes. Um, Dazzler is very often, because of Brood and Absorbing Man, a 3/6 and also sometimes a 3/8. And then if you Surfer that, that's a 3/10 because Brood and Sinister fill a location. And then you've got Forge helping to fill a location, and Wasp is a free location fill. And if you drop Sinister, now you're like 80% of the way there, right? Dazzler ends up great. Shadow King is the answer to a lot of the nonsense going around. You might have noticed an absolute ton of Craven and Angela in the meta. Shadow King answers that. You might be seeing a return to Shuri decks, where Shuri and Kitty are becoming popular. Shadow King answers that as well. That's this deck. This deck is absolutely killer and 100% worth playing. I'm happy that like after 1,000 years of being a sort of fun meme that everyone wanted to be true, Surfer Patriot is finally in a tier 1-ish tournament competitive real deck. Thanks so much for watching today's Snap Take. Tomorrow, you've got the great Fazzer Newman with 2 decks. You've got the Sunday video, a Monday video, as always, every day. Hit that sub button. Don't miss out. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate you.